Our first speaker needs no introduction in the medical community. It is Dr. A.S Soin, Chairman and Chief Surgeon, Medanta Liver Transplant Institute, pioneer surgeon who had started liver transplant in India for the first time in 1998. He and his team have done nearly 4,500. That is the highest number of transplants in India. He was awarded the Padma Shri for his contribution to the field in addition to numerous other awards. He's an innovator, investor, and medical AI researcher. He is also founder of a venture to extend health span and lifespan. And joining him is Ira Trivedi, an accomplished author and renowned yoga expert. Ira Trivedi has inspired countless individuals on their journey towards a more balanced and harmonious life. Her expertise in harnessing the power of yoga to cultivate inner peace and resilience will undoubtedly enrich our discussion today. So together, Dr. A.S Soin and Ira Trivedi represent a convergence of medical science and ancient wisdom, offering unique perspectives on how we can integrate physical well-being and mental wellness to achieve balanced living in our modern world. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome our speakers for what promises to be a thought-provoking and enlightening conversation.
But before we start, I'd just like to really pay my gratitude to all the wonderful doctors who are present here. You know, these doctors are, in essence, such amazing karma yogis. In yoga, karma yogis are selfless service, and this is absolutely what the medical profession is. So I had a wonderful conversation with Dr. Soin earlier, and I'm just in deep gratitude to all the doctors here who really serve us, and just a big, big hand of applause to all the doctors who are just amazing senior doctors here who have done such wonderful work in their field. So it's an honor, a pleasure, and a blessing to be here with Dr. Soin and to share the stage with you.
Thank you very much, Ira. It's a pleasure to be here as well. Thank you, Times of India, for putting this together. And for a change, we're going to talk about wellness and not disease. We're not going to talk about, everybody knows I'm a liver specialist. We're not going to talk about how bad liver disease can be, how it can kill people, how you save people from that. We're actually going to talk about how to be well, about positive health. Now, wellness and good health mean different things to different people. So let me ask you, Ira, what do they mean to you?
For me, and even in yoga, what we define as being well and being healthy is to have lots and lots of pranic energy, pranic energy, and just to live a very vital life. We were talking earlier, Dr. Soin and I, and Dr. Soin is a pioneer of organ transplant, of liver transplant. And an interesting point came up that an organ has 100+ years of life. But that means that human beings have the capability of living 100+ years because the organs are still functioning and they can go from one body to another body. But the reason we lose life is because our pranic energy leaves the body. So a dead body has no pranic energy. And that prana, that vitality, is what you lose the second that you die. So in sense of yoga, it is when the body is vital. And even the word vital doesn't exactly describe prana because Sanskrit is such a beautiful language. It has, one word has many, many different meanings. It's like even one word is like poetry. So the word prana is vitality, wellness, health, joy, all of it encompassed into one. So to be well and to be alive is to be full of pranic energy.
Thank you. That's a wholesome answer. Dr. Lal.
And so I want to ask this question back to you.
I will answer it, sure. But my answer will be very simple. Can Dr. Lal have a mic, please? I can give you mine.
And actually, doctor is the perfect person to answer this question because the liver is actually, it's the storehouse of prana in the body.
So in one line tell us, what does wellness and good health mean to you? One line.
Wellness and, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Wellness and good health means a man to be free of disease, free from infection, free from all sorts of non-communicable diseases, and a state of good mental health also. And it's just not, that you're disease-free, but you are actually, well inside what she's trying to say, pranic energy. Well, many doctors wouldn't understand what is pranic energy, but, well, we all, are trying to understand that. So it's not only absence of disease, but to be in actual good health otherwise.
Great. 𝐀𝐒 Khosla, the famous nutritionist. What does it mean to you?
Well,
Sorry, I'm going to make it very interactive.
yeah. So, Avi and me. He's Avi for me because we go back from KG up to class 12th.
Stop right there.
So, a lot has been already covered, so I won't repeat.
So you only have one line.
Resonate with every word, but I would just say when you wake up in the morning and you have a positive feeling about yourself and about your day and about looking forward to more in life is when you're in good health.
Excellent. Before you ask me, I'll say it myself.
Sure.
I was just thinking about it. I think, to me, it's like running up 4 flights of stairs and not feeling tired and breathless at the end of it. It's one of the things I think good health and wellness is about. And I can think of many such things.
Doctor, I'm going to bring...
Yeah.
That was too...
No, that's my feeling. You can't correct it.
I know. Yeah, that's your feeling. I'm not
Yeah.
going to correct you, but I'm going to expand on that. And
Okay.
I'll tell you why.
Right.
You just talked about physical health going up. I'd say when you run, it's like when you run a life and you feel good about it, then for me that's wellness. Not 4 flights of that. That's physical health.
That's what came to my mind. Anyway, Ira, tell us.
So, Doc, I don't know if this is confidential, but I know you're also working on longevity, and that's really a passion of yours, to bring medical science into longevity. So are there any scientifically proven techniques to improve wellness and lifestyle that you've been researching and looking into?
So are you saying that are there any scientifically proven techniques
Measures,
which can increase lifespan and
Yes.
health span? So it's going to be a long answer. Basically, unless one falls off a cliff or has an accident, you die of 4 things: cancer, type 2 diabetes and its complications, cardiovascular disease, and neurodegenerative disorders. So you basically die from these 4 things. And interestingly, these can all be detected very early and in fact prevented in as many as 30% of the people. So, which means that we have to change our focus in all the healthcare institutions from just treating people with serious diseases to actually promoting wellness and positive health. And that basically, so let me give you an example. How does one prevent diabetes from happening? You will say that I had a family history of diabetes, so I'm going to have diabetes anyway. No, that's not true. Before you diagnose to have diabetes, which means that your blood sugar level remains high, your test called HbA1c goes to 6+, you're actually 5.8. Before that, you're 5.7 at some point in your life. So the pre-diabetic status starts at 5.7. Currently, there are experts who think it should start at 5.4. And early 5s is what you should aim for. HbA1c is nothing but the average blood glucose in your blood over the previous 3 months. That's what it is. So when you detect, if you do screening tests on people and you detect a HbA1c of 5.7 or 8, that's definitely the time to start acting. The other thing is that diabetes itself is a killer, but there are other things which are called metabolic risk factors, which means hypertension, which means being obese, that means having a high waist circumference, having bad lipids, triglycerides, low HDL, and so on. These are the risk factors, so-called metabolic risk factors, that add to the risk of cardiovascular disease. So when you have these, you can do simple interventions with diet, with exercise, with sleep, with emotional health improvement, and simple drugs and supplements that would prevent you from actually going into the disease phase. And if you're already into the disease phase, then it will prevent the disease from advancing and treat it early. That is a long answer to your short question. That would increase your health span because you will be healthy, and that will increase your lifespan. So if you can prevent people from getting the diseases that kill them, then obviously you will enhance longevity and you will enhance healthy longevity, which means that you may live that long, but you may be healthy only that long. So it's called squaring the longevity curve, which means you're healthy for as long as you live. And that's going to happen when you detect the early indicators of future disease. So not just people over 50 or 55 need testing. People who are 30, 40 should think about their next 40 years, not just the next 10 years. That is the shift of focus that is needed among medical practitioners and institutions to actually enhance health span and lifespan. Sorry for the really long answer.
No, it's a beautiful answer, and it made me also think, because what happens is that in the practice of yoga and pranayama and meditation, as you do these practices, you become very aware. So when a disease is about to strike, you start seeing the early signs in your body and in your energy. So according to me, and I'd love doctors' thought on that, when there's energy trapped in the body, energy trapped, whether we call it the chi, whether we call it prana, when energy is trapped, it first leads to pain, and then it leads to disease. That's the way that it goes, and then that's why through the practice of yoga, these are not just random postures, we actually are untrapping energy. And when that begins to happen...
So tell us in more, in easier terms that everybody can understand, what are the specific things in yoga that you would suggest that would prevent, let's say, diabetes, heart disease, liver disease? Are there any particular techniques or asanas?
Absolutely. So every single asana, every single asana is working not just on the physical body. These are not just mere postures. Every single posture is working on pranic energy. And when you do these postures, when you hold the postures, when you do them in a traditional way, in the traditional Hatha Yoga way, and you breathe in the postures, and you meditate on the postures, that's when you begin to release this trapped energy. And so what you were saying very early on, you begin to realize where there are problems in my body. And I'll give you a very interesting example. My sister was recently, younger sister was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And because I know her and she's my sister, I could see those signals of her, of certain blockages in her energy, in her throat chakra, and how that would have led to this emotional turmoil in her life, which eventually led to this cancer in her body. And then when I gave her certain asanas to do, she could not do very, very simple asanas because physically she couldn't do them because she had a lump in her throat. Now, if she had been doing these practices all along, she would have noticed the discomfort in her body. She would have noticed this when done with awareness. So I think that what you had mentioned was very interesting, that these are preventable. All of these can be prevented when you look at these specific pillars of health and you work on each one of them.
Let's give them some takeaways. So from the linear world, the doctor tells you that to prevent diabetes or to treat it early, you should have less sugary stuff. I mean, she will tell you more about this later in the evening. You should avoid everything sweet. You should avoid refined carbohydrates. You should obviously have green leafy vegetables, whole fiber food, some fruits. Then you should exercise, because exercise will do what? It will reduce your weight. It will increase your muscle mass. And in diabetes, basically what happens is that your pancreas secretes insulin, which is the one that clears the glucose, the sugar, but the cells, the liver cells and the muscle cells don't react to that insulin, so there is insulin resistance. What increased muscle mass would do is increase insulin sensitivity. So as you lose the fat cells and you gain muscle, you actually increase the body's response to insulin, so therefore you cure diabetes, you lower your sugars, you lower your HbA1c. Then sleep. Sleeping well has been shown to reduce insulin resistance and increase insulin sensitivity. These are all scientific studies. I'm not a hocus pocus man. I only believe in science. And then stress. And she's going to tell us how to do all this, because I have no answer for reduction of stress. There is no medicine. And if you reduce stress, what you're going to reduce is stress hormones, which means cortisol. And cortisol elevates blood sugar. It increases insulin resistance. So if you have techniques in your bag, which Ira will leave you with, then you could reduce stress. Everybody has stress. Tell us a little bit about stress and sleep, because there aren't easy solutions in my system.
And
But I think they are in yours.
There are very easy solutions, easy and absolutely free solutions. And I always tell people that, we know when we have a headache, we can take that aspirin, paracetamol. We know when we have body pain, we can take a particular medicine. We even know that when we want good Chinese food, which number to call or which app to go to. But when we have stress, we don't know what to do. When we get angry, we don't know what to do. Those very basic toolkits of life, we haven't been trained to do. And that's what yoga can teach you, right? When we face these situations in life where we really need help, what do? Your best tool is your breath. Your breath is your best life tool, because your breath is your life. You learn how to control your breath, you automatically learn how to control your mind. And when you learn how to control your mind, you can control your life. So the practice of pranayam is incredible, and I'd love for all of us to just try this all together.
I'm going to exceed our brief and maybe call upon you to demonstrate a yoga asana or two and the pranayam.
So I'd like to
Is it possible?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So I want to do, how about I do a simple yogasana for, say, diabetes, or, sure, please. Would anyone like to know about any one particular posture for any one ailment? I'm happy to show that to you. And then I'd like for all of us to do one breathing practice all together, and then tell me how you feel right afterwards. I'm going to lead you through it. Is that okay, Doc?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Sounds good? So which asana, or tell me the ailment, and I will do the asana and show you.
So insomnia.
Now for insomnia, the best one is actually yoga nidra. Okay, it's psychic sleep, but that is just lying on the mat in shavasana. So I think,
Okay.
But that's an incredible practice. The practice of yoga nidra is an incredible practice. It's psychic sleep. You do this deeply for 20 minutes. It's equal to 3 hours of sleep. And when you start doing it with affirmations, it can really, really, really give you a very, very solid sleep.
So Shavasana is what you would suggest, right?
Shavasana. Yes. The corpse pose.
Okay, corpse.
Just lying in corpse pose, and it was interesting. Before this, Doc and I were trying to get on a call, and he said, why is your schedule so busy? He said, why am I not able to get on a call with you? And I said, Doc, I sleep for, it's been quite crazy recently, but I sleep for 3 hours a day, but I catch up doing Yog Nidra. Yog Nidra I do almost once or twice a day for 45 minutes. So your 3 hours
equals 9 hours.
My 3 hours, that 45 minutes of Yoga Nidra is giving me another 3 hours of sleep. And then I maybe do that twice a day, so I get a total of actually more than 9 hours.
Okay, what about surgeons like us getting backaches?
Backaches, all right.
So do you want to give us a trick for that?
I will give you a very, very simple trick for backache. Very, very simple posture. Again, when done, I'm going to give you 2 postures for backache, okay? Again, and there's multiple variations depending on what's good and what's not good for example, what is causing you back pain. But oftentimes, what causes us back pain is not actually the back, it's the glutes. You know, it's the glutes, weak glutes and hamstrings. So when people come to us in yoga and say, I have a really bad back, it's 90% of the time, it's hamstrings and glutes. And when we start working on those, then they automatically become better. So just 2 or 3 simple things I'll show you. So a simple Setu Bandhasan, which is absolutely safe, just lying back on the mat and just pressing your hands on the side and just coming up and holding this. You know, and then again, with both of the palms down. Very, very simple. And then you can do this actually just a few times and hold this together. So this is, again, an incredible posture and immediately will lead to relief in back pain. And you just have to squeeze the glutes and activate, and you'll feel much better right away. Because forward bend can be quite difficult. The other one is your classic Bhujangasana. Again, one of the best postures in yoga. Done very, very simple. Dynamically, you can do this dynamically, or you can hold this posture. So it's very, very simple. Everyone can do these. Just hold these and stay. So when you do these with the breath and hold these postures for a minimum of 30 seconds, then these can be incredible practices and so simple.
Wonderful.
You know,
Thank you
these,
so much.
For back pain, again, as I mentioned, it's often the glutes. A lot of tension in the glutes, which causes this.
So while we're at the glutes and the ways in yoga to prevent you having back trouble, a word about exercise. Now, obviously everybody talks about exercise, and exercise is extremely important. And exercise is important in, I already said, in increasing insulin sensitivity and reducing HbA1c and diabetes. Exercise is important even for your mental wellness, for good sleep. Exercise is important so that in the later years of your life, you can be more mobile and your muscle strength doesn't fail you. So exercise is 3-4 types. One is, of course, strength training, which basically means you increase your muscle mass. Then it's aerobic training, which means you can do bike or walk or run. And then it's balance and mobility. So those are the 3 classes of exercise which you must get regularly. The recommended amount of exercise, minimum amount of exercise, is 5 times a week, 30 minutes a day. And that's 150 minutes a week. And that is aerobic. In addition, there should be 10 minutes, 5 times a week of balance and mobility, and at least twice a week of strength training. Because this is what's going to help you when you're 80 years old, you're able to carry your bag, you're able to walk up the stairs without falling and breaking your femur and going into a cast. So balance, mobility, and muscle strength is something that you must build from today, whether you're 20 or 60. And this is going to help you in literally everything in life. And physical, mental, emotional, even sexual. The more you exercise, the more endorphins you get the right release of the right kind of hormones, and you'll have better sexual activity after 50 years of age. So exercise is a huge boon. In fact, I read somewhere that exercise is the most potent longevity drug known to man. So I'll leave you with that.
And to add to that, yoga encompasses all 3 of these that you're talking about. You get all 3 of these: balance, mobility, strength, and cardiovascular exercise in the practice of yoga. So while yoga is an ancient practice, I really feel that the ancient yogis created this practice for modern times, and it is so relevant today. You know, really a relevant practice. And even if you begin, and people always say, how do we start yoga? Okay, yoga is amazing, but how do we begin? You just need to begin by doing a little bit every day, 5 minutes. Incorporate it in your daily practice. Do 5 minutes of Surya Namaskars in the morning. Do 3-4 minutes of alternate nostril breathing, Anulom Vilom, and that'll immediately balance. And what Doc said about the stress hormones, immediately it brings your parasympathetic nervous system into play. Immediately. You know, because
so the rest and digest system is on.
On.
And the fight and flight is gone.
It's gone. Yes. Immediately. And most of us, the biggest problem is we're always now in the sympathetic nervous system. The body never is able to go into rest and digest. That's the number 1 reason leading to just stress levels are now at this medium high. human beings have evolved hunters and gatherers. They're in super stress systems, and stress is good, but when it peaks and then it goes and you're allowed to rest. And this keep your nervous system very, very active. So, but parasympathetic nervous system activity is very important, and I'd love to conclude our session by doing just 1 minute of breathing altogether.
Excellent. So we're not just about to end, but we will in a minute.
Okay.
So if you had to leave us with like a 15-minute routine or 20 minutes, I don't know how much you recommend. You probably recommend an hour. But let's say 20-minute routine of yoga and meditation, what would it be? I mean, I'm not saying you demo everything, but you could just tell us, or demo 1 or 2 things and tell us the rest.
Sure. So I would say that you should begin the practice by doing 5 minutes of sun salutation, Surya Namaskar. That gets you the cardiovascular practice that you need, 5 minutes. Do them as fast or as slow as you'd like to. Once you finish your Surya Namaskar, you should be doing in yoga 1 forward bend, 1 backward bend, and twist. So try to get, and 1 inversion. So try to get these 4 motions in your body. So moving down, moving back, moving to the side, and going upside down. Because that inversion, like the Shirshasana, so talking about longevity, they say you do Shirshasana, and that is your cure for long life. That's the one asana, it's the pineal gland, and it all is very scientific. You know, it's the pineal gland that gets very activated and really in tune when you do the Shirshasana. So that's the king of all asanas in yoga. The Shirshasana, I mean, that's not, and everyone can do it actually with practice. And then you conclude with about a few minutes of breathing, 5 minutes. So 5 minutes of sun salutations, 10 minutes of asana, forward, backward, side, and inversion, and 5 minutes of breathing. And that's your complete practice, 20 minutes a day. If we got off social media for 20 minutes and did this, then hospitals will be half as full.
So
sorry,
binge
doctors.
less, do more yoga, meditate more, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Your parting thought.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I think this is all we have time for. And thank you very much for being with us for this. And we will end by your suggested breathing exercise.
Yes, let's do a gentle, quick breathing exercise. So everyone, if you can keep your feet on the ground, so the spine is straight, keeping the back straight, keeping the spine straight, and gently closing your eyes. And I'd just like everyone to do a very simple diaphragmatic breathing exercise. You can keep 1 hand on the belly and 1 hand on the chest, something so simple. And as you inhale deeply, feel the belly move out. And as you exhale, feel the belly button move towards the spine. Let's inhale deeply. Feel the belly button move out as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, just exhale, move the belly towards the spine. Now let's inhale deeply on my counting on 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale on 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale deeply on 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale on 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale deeply. And now exhale with the sound of a ha. Exhale. Ha. Say the word. Inhale. Ha. You have to say ha. Inhale. Ha. Physically say the word ha, just the way I'm saying it. Inhale. Ha. Inhale. Ha. Inhale deeply. Ha. Now lower the hands and just observe the breath, focusing in between the eyebrows. And gently open your eyes. Immediate change, right?
Yeah,
Immediate change.
Thank you so much, Ira. I think it was a fantastic reset for the entire audience. And let me thank both of you, Ira and Dr. Soin. And now it is time, I please request Rishabh Jain to come on stage and felicitate our speakers.
Thank you all. जी बताइए नहीं बताइए please. Can the gentleman have a mic, please? पंजाबी दसो जी, no problem.
जे मैं सोचना मैं कोई डॉक्टर नहीं हाँ.
हाँ
My
जी.
wife is a doctor. She is not able to come. She is running one Alzheimer home, 𝐸𝐻𝐻, Dr. Sushma Chawla in Safdarjung. So she has sent me because she was not free. So I am husband of Dr. Sushma Chawla. Anyway, so this is my introduction. मैं ते हर वेले कहना हुन्ना पखाना क्लियर हो जाए सवेरे.
No, I mean, you know, I know there's a funny bone to your sentence, but eventually that's a very, very satisfying feeling. I agree with you.
ते नींदर सोनी आ जाए.
As long as it's sattvic food, then it's okay.
ਤੇ ਨੀਂਦਰ ਆ ਜਾਏ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਤੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰੋ ਕਿ ਸਰੀਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਤੇ ਕੰਡਾ ਨਾ ਚੁਭਿਆ ਹੋਵੇ, ਪੇਨ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਗੱਲ ਦੀ ਯਾਦ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਏਗੀ. ਬਸ ਇਹੀ ਵੈਲਨੈਸ ਇੱਕ ਲਾਈਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਬਿਆਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕੱਚੀ ਕਲਾਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਭੇਜ ਦਿੱਤਾ. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਕੱਚੀ ਕਲਾਸ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਥੱਲੇ ਚਲਾ ਗਿਆ. ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ.
Do we have time for questions? Yeah. Do we have time for questions? So I'm happy to, we'll chat about it later. I mean, she says to wind up.
I'm extremely sorry, though I think we could have just extended this session alone for the entire evening and it would have been less, yeah.
Right.
Thank you so much, Rishabh, and thank you, Dr. Soin again and Ira.